Plastic is everywhere. It's hard to live without it. It's killing our wildlife and our oceans. We all know this. But it gets messier. There's now proof that plastic is also in our poop. I know. Ugh. So if there's plastic in our poop, that means it's inside of us too, right? So how do these tiny bits of plastics or microplastics get there? And what does it mean for our health? So how much plastic actually ends up in the ocean? Well, it's the equivalent of around 35 of these shipping containers filled with plastic every single hour. In a year, hundreds of thousands. And that can have devastating consequences.
They're in the food we eat, they're in the water we drink, they're in the air that we breathe. So it's inevitable that you're going to detect them in our poo.
For the first time, researchers from the Medical University in Vienna and the Environment Agency Austria studied the diet and the stool samples of 8 participants from across the world.
We found out that in all participants microplastic was present. I thought there might be 3 or 4 hits, but it was astonishingly that really all provided a stool which had microplastic in it. And it was also not only 1 particle or 2 particles, we measured altogether 20 particles per 10 grams of stool.
Ich möchte als Mensch ehrlich gesagt kein Plastik zu mir nehmen.
Ja, ich glaube, ich höre auf, Fisch zu essen.
Das kann eigentlich nicht sein, dass überhaupt was hergestellt wird, was irgendwie Stoff an uns weiter abgeht.
Sorgen macht mir das. Es fällt mir halt trotzdem schwer, da meine Gewohnheiten irgendwie zu ändern.
Ich fühle mich nicht so gut dabei, aber die Gesellschaft tickt halt so. Wir wollen irgendwie nicht auf Plastik verzichten.
Da ist eine gewisse Skepsis und eine gewisse Sorge, dass man da der Sache nicht Herr werden kann auf Dauer und dann Gesundheitsschäden davon trägt, von denen man noch gar nichts weiß.
The health impact of microplastics being ingested is not yet established. We know from animal studies that some parts of microplastic can also transmigrate into the blood or to the liver and there cause some local inflammation. But if this is also true for humans, we need to check.
One of the positives about plastics is that you need quite high concentrations to cause effects, so they're not as potent as other chemicals that we'll be exposed to in the environment. I don't think sort of microplastics are as high a risk as those other substances.
Still, having plastic inside of us doesn't sound great. So what can we do to ingest less of it?
I think everyone should be avoiding single-use plastics. I personally wouldn't carry on drinking water from plastic bottles. I wouldn't stop eating fish. I think the health benefits of fish far outweigh the likely risks by microplastics in the fish. But at the same time, I wouldn't say this is something we should ignore.
You could try to reduce your personal plastic footstep, if you want to call it this way, and hopefully reduce the total amount of plastic which you ingest.
That way, you're not just doing yourself and your poop a favor, but also the environment.